Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Tea Time Tuesday with the Renewal Center. We are so excited that you are here joining us on a wonderful Tuesday afternoon. I'm Carmela E. Head, Director of Renewal Community Programs, and we have our Executive Director, Patrick J. Brown. He's with us, and he's going to give us our Tea Time Tour renewal practices today. We want to welcome all of our Tea Timers today. We're glad that you're joining us. And if you have not subscribed, and then also visitors, if this is your first time, we want you to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. This is where we're going to be coming live on Tuesdays to bring you Tea Time Tuesday with the Renewal Center. And we are so excited that you are here. I'm telling you, we got a couple of weeks left in the month of March, and we're going to kick off our tea time today. And just to remind everyone that we are here for a time of pause, a time of reset, and building resilience. And so Patrick and I are excited that you are joining us today. Yes. And Patrick, you want to say something?
Oh, no. It's just good that we're here to pause and reset because I sure enough need it right now.
I do too. I do too. And I'm telling you, it's a beautiful day here in North Carolina. I'm telling you, not a cloud in the sky out there. So we're glad that you are joining us today, everybody. And then invite your friends, invite them to come. Let them know that we're streaming live over here on YouTube. We're going to kick off our Tea Time Tuesday today with our tea of the week, which is wildflower tea. I like wildflower tea. I actually am drinking some today. But wildflower tea is a nice tea that comprises of dried, harvested wildflowers, actually. Some of them are chamomile, hibiscus. It could be rose, elderflower. There's a lot of different wildflowers out there that are harvested while they are dried. And we love these type of teas. They're very aromatic and robust. And so our tea of the week is wildflower tea. Hello, Nichelle. It's good to see you too this afternoon. Living in faith every day. Good to see you. And so we're so excited that we're here to feature our tea of the week, which is wildflower tea. And so while you are actually getting settled, please go ahead and put in the chat, what is your choice of tea today? We'd like to hear from you. And while you are sharing your specialty, Patrick, what kind of tea are you drinking?
Okay. Actually, I'm still sipping on this vanilla right now. So it's been a while for a little bit. So it's like a vanilla tea. Yeah, with a little cream in it. So,
Oh, that sounds good. I got a little cream in mine too. And I jumped straight into the tea of the week, and I forgot our awareness. We can't forget our awareness. Our awareness this month, I'm sorry about that, is National Women's History Month. And, as we are continuing through this month of March, this is the time that we take to honor the many contributions and the accomplishment that women have made throughout history in our nation and our communities and our families and in our world, the world that we live in. So celebrate with us, continuing in the remainder of this month, National Women's History Month. We're really excited about that. And so while we are actually getting settled and you're putting your tea of choice in the chat and letting us know how you're doing today, we're going to take a moment because we don't want to rush. This is about pausing, and we want to just settle ourselves and get ready for a time of locating ourselves like we always do at the Renewal Center. So if you're new to Tea Time Tuesday, take a moment, just kind of relax yourself. We're going to look at a video and just take your moment to just deep breathe and relax your shoulders and your hands. This is a good time to just do a little stretch.
Mm-hmm.
And as we get ready for our renewal practice, actually today Patrick is going to bring us part 1 of resilient thinking. Yeah. So I hope that you all have brought your tea time journal. I got mine and we're ready. I'm going to let Patrick take it away.
Thank you, Carmela. Hey, tea timers, how you doing? It's good to have everybody on. Just want to remind you, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Share this YouTube channel with others. Go ahead and just press share. Drop that link to others. Let them know that we're on Tea Time here. Looking forward to you all being a part of our Tea Time community each and every Tuesday, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd at 12 p.m. And our 4th Tuesdays at 7 p.m. And so make sure you click on your notification bell so that you can be notified when we go live. I'm looking forward to our content and engaging you even more. So looking forward to growing. And also, we're looking forward to whatever subjects you want us to discuss at Tea Time. We've had so many just incredible subjects and renewal practices. So today's focus is going to be on resilient thinking. I want to start out again by saying, don't absorb what you observe. You know, I've been saying that for quite a while. And so there's a lot that we're observing in our world today. Be very mindful that you do not absorb it. All right. Do not absorb it. Absolutely. So good to see everybody. Good afternoon. So glad that you're on. So we're going to dive into a focus on resilient thinking today. And today and also next week, because one of the principles of the Tea Time community is pausing, resetting, and building resilience. And so it's a particular mentality when you think about resilient thinking. So I'd like to ask the audience, if you will, Tea Timers, when you think about resilience itself, what comes to mind when you think about the term resilience in a day and age right now where there's so much negativity, polarization that's happening, a lot of division that's taking place. There's a lot of negative vibes and mindsets. There's a lot of revolutionary change that's taking place right now. And so people's emotions from a negative place are heightened and from a very concerned place as well. And so I think it's important that we pause, right, to locate ourselves, locate where we are. How am I reacting? Why am I reacting? How am I responding? What am I observing? And also, what am I absorbing? Mm-hmm. And so the resilience conversation today really is to help you, again, as an extension of safeguarding your well-being. Yeah. All right. Resilience is that bounce back capacity. Mm-hmm. All right. That ability that we're walking through some situations. I'm walking through some challenging issues right now, whether it's personally, whether it's collectively. And so what do we need to do in order for us to be able to really bounce back, or shall I say, be stronger? All right. So when you think about the word resilience, all right. Good afternoon, Hope. Good afternoon, Monique. Hello. When you're thinking about resilience, I want you to think about that. The ability to push through or rebound from challenging obstacles. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. What comes to mind when you think about the word resilience? Carmela, what comes to your mind? I talked about bouncing back. What comes to your mind when you think about resilience?
Well, all of those things. Actually, what I've written down and what I'm thinking of living in faith. Michelle, she said it. You said it. I said the ability to press through these, our process of pressing through, our process of bouncing back, overcoming, overcoming, and those keywords that was just on the screen, challenges and obstacles. So when, it's that ability to remain, I would say, remain positive and still be productive. The outcome is productive.
That's good. The outcome is productive because we want to ensure that whatever we're walking through, we come out stronger, we come out wiser, we come out refined, we come out with a greater degree of strength. We have a process of resilience as well. And I like you using the word process as well. Absolutely. And so we started out with that exercise every single Tuesday about locating yourself, because we have so much going on in our heads, in our hearts, and in our world. Locating yourself is only going to help you get stronger in your resilience, in building your capacity of how am I going to strengthen my resilience capability. And so today I want to emphasize the thinking part of resilience. And so I'm going to give us a couple of principles. If you're taking notes today, or if you're journaling, I want you to have 2 columns. Just kind of do 2 columns today. On the left side, good afternoon, Tiny. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Good to have you on today. Want to emphasize the left side. I want you to put down a cause thinking, all right? Cause-oriented thinking, and the right side, response-oriented thinking. So we're going to focus on that. Cause-oriented thinking, and then response-oriented thinking. And that is what we're going to focus on when we think about resilient thinking. And what we're going to do is we're going to work through each of these 4 renewal practices relating to resilience thinking. So let's start off with number 1. All right. So on the left side, we want to go to the cause. What is actually happening? And then on the right side is response. Carmela, you talked about you just said about process, and you talked about outcome.
Yes.
That was it. Those are 2 key terms I wanted to emphasize as well. And then also living in faith every day says the ability pushing through, rebounding. So those are some response-oriented types of answers. And so what I like us to think about is on the left side, control. Because there are things that we can influence, and there are things that we can control or can't control, right? So I want us to think about the question on the left side, the control question, which was this adverse event or situation inevitable, or could I have prevented it? I want you to think about that as it relates. Now, let's just pause for a moment. I want us to think about this from a perspective of what we're dealing with right now individually, perhaps what you're experiencing globally, nationally, politically, socially. And I want us to ask the question about, was this event that was adverse? All right. Was it inevitable? Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Could I have prevented it? Maybe I could, maybe I could not. Right. And so when we ask this question, and Amel, I'd like to get your perspective on this too, and also the audience, T-timers. Why do you think we would ask a control question? Like why would we ask a control question about, was this adverse event or situation inevitable, or could I have prevented it? Why do you think?
I like that question in a way, but it kind of takes us away from self-blame. Because sometimes we can get caught up in that ruminating of, oh, why did I did that? I shouldn't, and then it's like, well, I mean, if I could have prevented it, okay. If I didn't, if it was inevitable, okay. But asking that question kind of puts us in perspective of, well, okay, I understand, and give myself grace. I mean, that's what I'm getting from it. It could be some other areas, but looking at our areas of control, because sometimes we do need to take ownership of things. But then on the other side, it's a good way of also letting us know that we don't want to always self-blame either.
Absolutely. I like that answer. Thank you for sharing that about self-blame. I think it's important also to ask this question. In addition to that, to build on that, Carmela, is that as it relates to this close-ended question, because it is close-ended, right? Yes, it's a yes or no answer. Was this adverse event or situation inevitable? Oh, inevitable. Well, yes or no. Okay. Let's just say it was not. Then I can say, could I have prevented it? No. Either way, there's a combination of this, because what this does is it helps you see what is the root of your thought process. What is at the core of your thought process? That's what this gets to. All right.
I think that's what I was trying to say.
No. You said it. I'm just saying, we're just saying it in different ways, right? Alicia even chimed in. You can see a person's way of thinking, perspective. Absolutely.
Right.
And this is about us, about me. So, for example, what this does, it helps me locate what I can control, what I can't control, and what I can influence.
I like that.
So when I ask that question, again, what I can control, what I can't control, and what I can influence. So I think I want to encourage us to adopt this question on a regular basis to build resilient thinking. But on the other side, we have a response-oriented thinking, which is what features of the situation can I even potentially improve? We need to do both of these at the same time as a practice. Now, on the left side, okay, that's the control question. All right. This is the control realm, cause-oriented question, the control realm, response-oriented thinking. We need both because it helps us get to the core of how we think and why we think the way that we think.
I like that.
Then on the right side, it helps you. That's the, Carmela, you'll like this. That's the empowerment question.
Absolutely.
Because now I can talk about what I can influence. What I can influence. What are your thoughts on that right question as well? Because again, we're talking about ways of thinking. We're talking about control question. We're talking about build resilience thinking. And we start looking at ourselves, and you'll know whether or not you're in this level, this type of thinking based upon how you react and respond. If there's constant you statements that's coming out, you're not in that space of the control question on in terms of the cause thinking area. So what are your thoughts on this? When we think about the right one as well, what features of the situation can I even potentially improve? And also, everybody write down the word influence. Thoughts on that, Carmel?
Influence. I like that. I like this because you're being objective on both sides. You're looking at, okay, well, what's the cause? Okay, what was the control factor? Can I control? Did I, is it something I can't? Okay, and then let's look at my response. Let's be objective about it. Well, how can I become more resilient? What can I improve? Like you said, it's a more of empowerment question. You're asking yourself, you're getting involved in the process of it. You're actually doing the building. You're not sitting back and allowing a situation to just happen, but you getting involved and finding a way, well, how can I improve this? And I like that because that is responding versus reacting, or just your reaction could just be that you don't do anything. That's a reaction. As well, so then it's, the response. I like that because you can have an influence on your outcome, because we were talking about processes earlier. The process of resilient thinking is us actually becoming more resilient through building, through process.
So let's work this then, Carmela. Let's work this. All right. Let's just say, Carmela, you and I, we've identified a space that it was inevitable. And let's just say, yes, it was.
Yeah.
But let's also answer, I couldn't have prevented that, right? Nothing I can do. I could not have prevented it. So the right question is going to be, well, what features of the situation can I even potentially improve? Or what can I influence? Well, I own my own attitude. I own my own mindset. I own how I react. I own how I respond. So the control question gets us to the place where we're able to locate where we are.
Taking ownership.
There it is. And that right there that's freedom. That's liberation. That's empowerment. Because now I'm thinking differently about myself. I'm thinking differently about the situation, the adverse situation, the circumstance, even individuals that are involved with that, because there are things that are outside of my control, but I can influence my responsiveness. All right. I know I can't control the weather. All right. So if that's the case, if it's raining, then, or if it's cold, put a coat on, right? I mean, you can change. It's about what you can influence as well. Resilience thinking, all right, it has a control realm first. Secondly, it has an impact realm. Now let's go to the impact questions. All right. We're going to continue this next week. So folks, stay focused on this. Stay vigilant, right? And let's ask the question, did I cause the event or situation, or did it result from external sources? Did I cause what's happening? Yes or no? Or let's just say I did. Okay, I did cause this. I dropped the ball on something. I really didn't respond the way that I should have. All right, now I understand the impact. It came from me, or the impact is impacting other people. So now I'm owning it. So let's just say, Carmela, that I caused the event or the situation. Is that fair? It's not a result of external experiences. Now let's contextualize this, that I was the source of the situation. So now that I identify that, now we got to be honest, right? We got to be honest. It's not the blame game here. So I realize that because of that, then I ask the response question. See, it's a delicate dance, because the response-oriented thinking is going to say, well, what sort of positive impact can I personally have on what happens next? So that helps you turn it around as needed. Or if you're not the cause, it still helps you with a positive focus on what impact can I, or influence can I have on what happens next. I hope everybody is getting this today about influence. So when we think about this from this perspective, did I cause the event or situation, or did it result from external sources? And in this situation, Carmela, I was the cause. Oh, boy. Now I got to own up to where I am. And because I'm the cause of this, all right, no, this is not about guilt. This is not about condemnation. It's about ownership and building resilience, right? Now, here's what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to focus on the impact question from a response perspective. What are you thinking over there? I can see it.
You see the wheels spinning?
Yeah.
No, I was just sitting here thinking, well, I'm sure all of us have been in this boat somewhere, time or two, but it puts us in a position on the other side, like it's the resilient thinking process of the response side oriented thinking. Is it challenges us to use the tools and the principles that we know to help us. And I like how you said, what sort of positive impact? So you're looking for a positive, what ways can you present a positive response, or positive tools can you use, or positive principles that you can have, or positive processes that you can take, so that you can kind of get yourself on the right track again, so you can have a positive outcome. So I think it puts us in a position, this particular part of the of our renewal practice helps us with that part.
Absolutely. And you notice that we're navigating between both of these. Not that I'm trying to make it polarized or make it dichotomous, but I want us to kind of, it's like an infinity, So I want you to think about this from a perspective of, I'm in and out of resilience thinking is constant movement. So it's not linear. You're like, okay, cause oriented. Second, response. What I'm doing is I'm moving back between cause and response, because now I'm looking at, okay, I didn't cause the situation, or okay, it came from an external source. So what am I going to do from an impact perspective that I can personally have on what happens next? So I'm now navigating this. And if you use this in business, you use this in your coaching, you use this in how you engage other people on teams. When someone else drops the ball, or when you drop the ball, you start thinking about your level of engagement, your level of involvement, your level of compassion, your level of correction, your level of restoration, your level of reconciliation. You start thinking through what you will do. And again, Carmela, this goes back to that empowerment that we talked about earlier, because now what I'm doing is I'm looking at the cause. And if it's me, then I can still focus on what impact can I personally have on what happens next.
On how to bring some resolve in a positive way.
I want everybody to write out the word course correction. All right. Course correction. At this phase, this is course correction. We're back and forth. We're thinking through Perhaps I'm course correcting myself if I'm the cause of this. And so if I'm not the cause and it's from an external, then this gives me more resilience, my ability to navigate what is not under my control. So I have course correction individually, and then also my response now to others is, and we want to make sure that, you know, we choose a response that is healthy for us, a response that puts us in a place of empowerment, the seat of empowerment. That's the important part. And once we start practicing this, Carmela, as a regular renewal practice, we get stronger and stronger in our resilience, so that if there's something that's out of my control, I can't control it. But you know what? If I am the person that's the cause, I can course correct on one end, but also on the other end, I can notice how I respond to something that is outside of my control.
I like that.
Let's locate ourselves on that. All right. So again, left side, control realm, the control questions, the control thinking. Then we think about the impact thinking. All right. Did I cause the event? And if I did, there's course correction. If I didn't, there's responsiveness. And again, positive intent, right? Positive intent. Not intent to say, I knew it wasn't going to work, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and where's the positive intent? Which means what kind of mindset and attitude am I proliferating? Because we're bringing that mentality into all the spaces that we enter into on a day-to-day basis.
That's good.
All right, everybody, let's keep going. Next renewal practice. Now we're talking about the breadth of the situation.
Okay.
All right. We have the breadth question in resilience thinking, which is the underlying cause of this specific to me or more widespread? Ooh, I hope everybody's journaling today. Come on, folks. Pause, reset, and build resilience. Pause, reset, and build resilience. Is the underlying cause? That's a deep question right there.
It is.
And again, these are ownership questions that are close-ended because we want to get to the root of it. We want to get to the core of it. So let's play this out, right? Now, this question is not this is a real question, Carmela. What do you think about that question, that breadth question? Is the underlying cause on the cause-oriented side? Is the underlying cause of this specific to me or more widespread? Let's pause on this. So, to answer that, let's think about this from this perspective. Let's consider the fact that this particular underlying cause is specific to me. And so if it's specific to me, then there's a response that's required of me. An individual response or responsibility. If it's more widespread, then I need to consider what type of partnership, what kind of synergy do I need to consider if this impacts not just me, but others as well.
Right.
However, when we think about the right side, let's think about this from a perspective of how can I contain the negatives of the situation and generate currently unseen positives? The human brain, psychologically, neurologically, Carmela, is wired for the negative. That's why viral videos go viral, because they're negative. There's just this constant immediate response. But I want to get your perspective on that when you think about the first question, and then let's go over to the other one. Thoughts?
Okay. Yeah. I'm looking at what you're saying. Is the underlying cause specific to me or is it widespread? And then you answered that pretty much. That is open-ended, because now you have to evaluate, okay, how is this affecting me? Apparently this is affecting others, or where is the root of it coming from? And like you said, breath, now it's coming from we had the impact where we talked about, okay, it's impacting me, but now this is affecting others, or this has impacted others. And so I think that cause that part of it causes us to look at, okay, what are the I would say all of the elements that went into what happened. It causes you to look at, okay, if this is affecting me and others, then like you said, where's the synergistic piece of it to bring things back together again, or how to reform and reshape this so that it doesn't cause any more damage. I mean, that's the way I'm looking at it.
It's good stuff. It doesn't cause more. So
right. It doesn't spread more.
We didn't think about that. And I think also what this does is, again, these are empowering questions. These are responsible questions. These are ownership questions, because resilience also requires community. Because when everybody's thinking about their responsibility, we also recognize how it impacts others.
What is your role in it?
Right. Because I'm looking at underlying causes. And if it's widespread, it helps me also avoid groupthink or herd mentality. Because now I'm asking the question, how can I contain the negatives of the situation and generate currently unseen positives? If everybody's reacting the same way, we're going to get the same results, probably. So what this does is, if it's widespread, I'm still asking that empowerment question to say, what can I generate? What solutions can I bring to the table? What plans, what strategies?
I like that. Yeah.
It now brings it out of groupthink and thinking, well, Carmela, you and I may be impacted by the same thing, right? But when I ask the question, the response question, that's what's going to empower you and empower me differently. But let's just say, Carmela, you go and you ask the question, well, you know what? I'm going to start looking at the positive, the unseen positives, and contain the negatives of the situation. Okay, I recognize here's the situation. What happens, Carmela, if I don't look at any of the unseen positives and I just focus not even on containing the negative, I just focus on what's happening? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I think there'll be some resistance to positive change. Goes back to the synergy again, being, I would say, like-minded, coming to a consensus that we want to focus on, well, what can we do positively to change this, or to, bounce back, or because we're talking about resilience, or bring some resolve, but there could be very much that resistance there, and that could delay, or it could just fall through the cracks. And that's not what we want to do when we come to building resilience, correct? We want to see a positive outcome. We want to overcome that challenge. And so I would say that it would have to be that it could possibly end up with the resistance to change.
So let's go deeper into what are the unseen positives? Thinking through, okay, how can we improve this? Well, you can improve it. That's just how it's going to be. Okay. Then what can I do individually? What can I do locally? How can I function psychologically? How can I respond emotionally? What can I do intellectually? What can I create? Now we're asking questions to help get to the unseen positive versus staying in there and just observing the negative and not containing it.
Right.
Again, folks, we're talking about resilience thinking. We're going to dig into this next week too, because I got some more renewal practices to help us navigate this. All right. Let's go to the next one. Last point, duration. Oof. Oh, duration. Is the underlying cause this event enduring or temporary? Is the underlying cause this event enduring? Cause of this event, excuse me, enduring or temporary? Response, what can I do to begin addressing the problem right now? I had to ask myself a question recently, Carmela. I was like, okay, Patrick, how are you going to respond to this? Or it has nothing to do with you, but it's come to you. So what are you going to do? Right? is the underlying cause of this event enduring or temporary? What can I do to begin addressing the problem now? You see how we're navigating again this? We're going through duration. We're going through the cause. We're going through the response. The underlying cause of this event. Well, you know what? It's temporary. So you know what? Perhaps that will determine my responsiveness, or maybe not. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Well, my mind went to, I know this is a little off scale here, but it'll tie back in. But my mind goes to goal setting.
Okay.
How we have long-term goals and short-term goals. We don't have the same actual steps for both, because you know, the way you want to ascertain your long-term goals, your steps may be different. Your strategy may be just a little different. But it all goes back to the duration, like you said here. If it's temporary or if it's enduring, if it's long term or it's ongoing, or if it's something that just happened, it's temporary, it's just, you know, or if it's having a deeper impact and it's more enduring, then the way we would address it, there'll be different steps. That will determine what steps we'll take, that how long or what angle we're going to come from to meet this particular bounce back, to meet this area of resilience. I think it would also take us looking into the steps. Is it gradual steps, or is it something we could immediately respond to and provide good steps to resolve it? But if it's not, then it's like we need longer steps. We need a little bit more strategy to get there.
That's good. I'm glad that you talked about that and related that to goals, because there are times when you need immediate revolutionary approaches, right? Immediate. Then there's times it needs to be incremental, and other times it needs to be comprehensive, right? When we're responding to change issues or different responses that we're having. That's good. Thank you for sharing that. Oh, wow. Yeah, let's think about this again. So underlying causes, enduring, temporary. Right side, response oriented. What can I do to begin addressing the problem now? Now, Carmela, let's go back to your goal setting, in-game mindset type of thinking. And I like that, because that makes it even more practical. So when we think about what I should do now, boom, what can I do to begin addressing the problem now? All right. When you think about this from a cause and a response perspective and resilience, how would you organize or what is your process that you use, perhaps, or how would you organize your addressing the problem now? Like, what do you have a method or an approach that you use that works for you? I'm just curious.
For problem solving.
No, addressing it. Because
addressing
it might be temporary, it might be long, and we don't know the brevity or the depth or the weight of it, but the process might have some principles we can extract. I'm just curious as to your process.
Well, I mean, I would look at it again, what did this just happen? And how did this happen? And then also the duration. Okay, like you said, it's temporary. Oh, it just happened. Okay, we can solve this. Immediate, even though it may have impacted this many people or just myself. Okay, this is just temporary. We can get through this. Let's find an immediate solution. Let's get to the root of it and find some immediate resolution practices that we can add to it. Versus, not looking at it from a point of view that it's maybe the long term, because it's affected a long-term end game here. This has affected a lot of variables going on. So then you have to take all the variables and look at each one and say, okay, well, let's just tackle this. When will we tackle that? When will we get to this? Until we can finally get to the end game of, okay, we've tackled all of these things so that we can actually bring resolution to this entire problem that we're facing. And so that's what I would look at, little bits and pieces, just like the goal setting piece, little bits and pieces to actually get to the end game. If there's a lot of elements, you have to maybe attack all these elements from different time frames to actually repair them, to restructure them back to where it needs to be.
That's good.
That's just my 2 cents.
And I like those 2 cents. That 2 cents is valuable to the whole dollar exchange. Thank you. So that's good. I started thinking about how sometimes progress is backwards. If you're going to do a high jump, you don't stand next to the bar.
That's right.
If you're going to do a long jump, you don't stand next to the line. You have to go back and build momentum. How high is this problem? How far is this issue that I need to cover?
I like that.
Let me look at it. Now that I've looked at it, I can go back and say, the walking back is the plan, the strategy. I start thinking through this. And, you know, because it might be probably like, oh, I can do this. Once you look at it, you don't realize the resilience that you do have.
Yeah.
Because you know what, Carmela? Everybody's probably doing the same thing. You're going back and saying, well, mine is, you know, is 7 feet, is 8, is, oh my gosh, or this. And so we all are going back now. Right. And okay, we start discussing some things. We're cross-pollinating, we're ideas are generating, and we're learning from one another. So this is good. This is good.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot, because you can't just jump over a hurdle right there.
Right.
You got to build up to that, gain the speed, gain the momentum, gain all of that. This is good. I like that approach.
You'll be scraping your knee up and everything. But look. And we scrape ourselves, you know what I'm saying? Oh man, take some time to go back and scale back and think through it in a way that helps us. And I think if we thought about this in business and industry, economy, relationships, friendships, how we build, how we strengthen, how we are sustaining initiatives, how we're meeting goals and expectations for ourselves. Again, T-timers, today's focus was about resilient thinking. And so let me just wrap up this. Let's tie the bow on this gift of resilience thinking. The control part, the control area, the impact area, the breadth area, and the duration area. All right. I want us, all right, as we prepare and let's come into next Tuesday, let's start thinking through, we'll come back with resilient thinking part 2. I'd like you to utilize this approach, this framework, but with the caveat, Carmela, that we're going in and out of these questions. We're not being linear and just staying in cause. We're not just staying in response, okay? That we're back and forth in this thinking process. Yeah, absolutely. Like all right? Back and forth, making sure that we're doing that. Yes, it does. Scrape knees and hurts leads to resilience. Yes, it does. Absolutely. So I want to ask the Tea Time community, what are your thoughts for today's renewal practices? What are your takeaways? What are some new insights, some fresh insights? What are you recalibrating perhaps regarding today's renewal practice on resilient thinking? Carmela, anything that jumps out to you, as we close out today?
Well, I like the duration. That, because that brings us home of really looking at how are we going to really navigate through that. And I'm making this personal because, we all go through these certain ins and outs. And I like how this is a good way for us, this practice for us to really think through, short term, long term, regardless, there's a way that we can approach it. I like that part of it.
Good. Thank you for sharing that. I really started out thinking through this question here, really control. Sometimes when your personality might be, I want to be in control of things, and okay, it's out of your control. So, all right, well, what you gonna do? What are you gonna do differently? And I like this one because the one on the right, the response one, is the features of the situation. Can I even potentially improve, or I would access the way to write the word influence. So I wanted to think about this in terms of how am I responding when I'm not the cause? What is going to be my response when I'm not the cause? And what is my cause going to be, or my response going to be when I am the cause?
That's, I like how you broke that part down.
So just a growth, time, mentality. So want to hear from you, T-timers. Any takeaways? Any perspectives? Carmela, you want to take this one here?
Yes, living in faith every day. Her takeaway is all of the above, all of those things we talked about. I have to sit with this one more. It's challenging to me to utilize the areas I'm least likely to consider.
All right. All right. And that's a growth mindset.
Yeah.
You know, we don't want to be fixed. We want to continue to be challenged and build our intellectual muscle. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else out there, please feel free to place your comments, your perspectives, your insights. I want to remind all of you, please make sure that you share the Renewal Center's YouTube channel. We are 100% doing our lives on our YouTube channel each and every Tuesday, first, second, and third Tuesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, each and every fourth Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. So make sure you subscribe to our channel, share the channel, and also please put the notification bell on so that you can know when we're going live, and set your reminder. So we want you to be a part of this community. So thank you all for sharing this. Thank you for connecting to others as well. Want to remind you also here at the Renewal Center, each and every Sunday, we do have our digital discipleship, which is the ministry part of the Renewal Center as well. We are very practical in our vision in implementing renewal, restoration, principles, and practices to help you in the spiritual aspects of who we are, biblically based, Christ-centered, focus on revealing Christ each and every Sunday, 10 a.m. on our Zoom channel as well. All right. So I want us to think through this. I want to encourage you to connect with us. If you're not connected somewhere, you want a place of fellowship, you want a place of connection, please go to our website. Also go through our social media sites. You can go to the renewalcenters.com and you can connect with us there. Also, each and every Tuesday, we talked about the Tea Time Tuesday. I want to remind you of that. And each and every Wednesday. All right. We have our Reforming Culture. We are currently on a series on the Kingdom of God each and every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. We'd love to see you there. Also, we have a grief recovery service for you. If you need individual grief recovery, we're offering that right now. Please feel free to connect with us here at the Renewal Center 2020 at gmail.com. All right. Or you can write to us, or you can go to our website as well and connect with us for more information. And also want to encourage you, we are having a prophetic gathering this coming April 4th and 5th. April 4th and 5th. And one of the key things about a prophetic gathering is that the prophetic gathering is to connect you to the presence of God and to the truth of God so that you can think, feel, hear, and see God for yourself. And so in this environment, that's what happens when you come to a prophetic gathering. It's the 6th prophetic gathering. Please go to the 6th prophetic gathering.eventbrite.com. There will also be a digital virtual option as well when you register, and you'll get the information for that. We want to encourage you, please register. We'd love to see you there. We'll be here in the Concord area at the First Missionary Baptist Church here in Concord, North Carolina. Love for you to be a part of that gathering. Here are our speakers, facilitators. We'll have vendors. We're looking forward to a time of fellowship. And lastly, want to encourage you also, this is your first time connecting to the Renewal Center. And also, if this content has been a strength and a value add to you, I'd like you to consider giving to our nonprofit, connecting with us as well. These are the ways that you can give to our website, therenewalcenters.com/give, or you can text Renewal Center to 888-364-4483. We have PayPal and Zelle, which is our email address, the Renewal Center 2020 at Gmail. Our Cash App is Cash Renewal Center, and Venmo at Renewal Center. And then you can mail a check or money order to the P.O. Box 1381 Concord, North Carolina 28026. So I want to thank you, first of all, for your considering the Renewal Center. Thank you for donating to us. We're an incredible grassroots organization in the area in the renewal space. And so this helps you holistically continue to grow and be transformed. And that's what we're here about. So Cartmel, I think we got a couple more comments here coming in. All right, here's another one right here. If you can read AA.
Okay, AA is saying, what is my response when I'm the cause of not the cause? This is deep. Opportunity to reflect and study my response versus blame or become upset. Yeah, that's good. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
You, AA. Appreciate it so much. All right. Well, thank you, Carmela, for being on. This has been a rich time today. Before we close out, everybody, we just want to take a moment to locate yourself. We look forward to seeing you next Tuesday, all right, which will be our 4th Tuesday. So it'll be at 7 p.m. next Tuesday. We'll be doing Resilient Thinking Part 2 with the entire team. And so I'm going to bring this back up so that we can just locate ourselves. Just take 30 seconds, a minute to just, and then we'll see you next week. All right. Thanks, everybody. Carmela, thanks so much again, as always.
Thank you, Patrick.
We'll see everybody soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.